is what you're here to see. So, game number 2 is right here in the Go4sc2 Cup number 397 in the quarterfinals between Nerchio and Targa. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of the map, we find our red Zerg player from Imaginary Gaming. It is going to be Targa. And he is facing off against Nerchio, who has spawned in the top left corner of the map. It's going to be the blue Zerg player Nerchio from Team Acer, of course. Now, I did take game number 1, and Targa seems to be up to no good. He is at 9 supply. He's not building anything except the spawning pool that has just come down. Now, usually, as I have observed in a lot of ZVZs that I've casted before this, if you're up one game, normally you go for the spawning pool first, just because you don't want to die to stupid stuff. I tried to find an explanation for that, but that's just how it is. So let's see if Nerchio actually goes that route, because if he just goes for the 15 pool, he's going to be in okay shape. Like, the Zerglings still have to be microed against, but he might be able to be in a good shape right there. Now, the Overlord for Targa is on the way. Once it is done, the spawning pool will also come down. And there we go, spawning pool is going to come down first. Nerchio not trusting it quite a bit, but that spawning pool is quite a bit far forward. So let's see. If you lose that spawning pool, it's still going to be pretty tricky to hold any aggression, of course. The Targa is going for it. 6 Zerglings on the way. No gas is being taken. So no bailing potential. No speedling potential. He just wants to get some initial damage done. He's going to go for a queen behind this. And let's see if he wants to drone up, or if he just wants to go for all-in aggression from this point forth. Still only bailings. The spawning pool of Nerchio is about to be done. But let's see if he can make it happen. Looking at the worker count currently, Nerchio is 4 workers up, of course, just because he took that spawning pool a little bit later. So he has the economic lead, but now let's see if he can hold on to that. He's getting his natural base that could get cancelled by this 9 pool of Targa. But now 4 Zerglings for Nerchio himself are on the way. He's getting his his extractor going. Nerchio immediately cancelling that natural base, and he's producing as many Zerglings as he possibly can. He's even pulling a few drones. He does not want to be a victim of these shenanigans. Oh, a little bit of a lag spike coming down. Not the biggest though. And a few drones will go down here, but the response has been pretty perfect for Nerchio for now. Queen is on the way. Nerchio even producing a few more drones behind this. And Targa is also droning up behind this a little bit. But the Zergling count is still very close. The Queen really needs to get that damage in. And if even a Spinecrawler is just finishing up for Nerchio. With that Spinecrawler done, it's not going to be any damage that he can really do with it. But at least Targa did get a cancel on that natural base. So it has not been completely for nothing. But with the Queens and the Zerglings already on the top of that ramp, I don't think that he can do all too much. He can try and go for the surround on the Queen, but he would need to focus that down, and the Zerglings of Nerchio will hammer down the damage on Targa Zerglings while that is happening. So I don't think that that is really going to be a big factor. But the Bailing Nest is already going to be here for Nerchio. Also, Targa is going to get his Bailing Nest going. Both players also working on their metabolic boost, so they will go into speedlings pretty much at the same time. So no advantage is going to be held there, but behind this, Targa did drone up quite a bit. He is at 19 drones. He has kept those Zerglings at the front to try and pressure this, to force out units from Nerchio. But this time Nerchio has the unit advantage, and he wants to go on the aggression, it looks like. Well, at least chase those units away. Nerchio is going to go for his natural base. And Nerchio knows his opponent went for that natural base too. The Overlords are so useful in this matchup to get that scouting done. Now 2 Bailings on the way for Nerchio. 10 more Zerglings on the way for Targa. This is going to be a very back and forth game most likely. But at least the 9 pool did not do game ending damage. Now a few Zerglings of Targa will go towards that natural base once again. Oh, 4 Zerglings is not going to be enough to kill it off. But there are 2 Bailings here now too. The Zerglings of Nerchio did return back home. Oh, they don't get the best service area right there. But Bailings on the top of that ramp can be pretty powerful. But now Targa is going to go move in with his own Bailings. The Zerglings get us around on the Queen. The Queen will go down. Nerchio's Bailings are not quite done just yet. And the natural base might actually fall. But not for free at least. Supply is still pretty much dead even. 12 more Zerglings on the way for Nerchio, but the Banelings are the ones that make it pretty impossible for both these players. That tries to go into the main base. That is not going to happen. Nerchio does send these units away once again. And looking at the current units count, 24 drones are out for Targa, 19 for Nerchio. But there are no Zerglings whatsoever for Nerchio. He has 8 on the way, but not even Banelings right now for him. So he is going to go for the counterattack, do quite a bit of damage too. And drones are going to fall, and Targa might just fall to this counterattack. Another queen out of position. Oh, don't attack those rocks. It's not going to be useful for you at all. Banelings on the way now for Targa too. He's going to need those Banelings desperately. The Zergling count for Nerchio is still a little bit higher. Targa still has the supply lead in terms of workers though. And the Baneling detonation on top of this hatchery, you don't do a lot of damage with it, but Baneling detonations don't care about any armor that the larvae have, so you do kill off your opponent's larvae, which he really wanted to do. But now Nerchio has to return back home. He has taken the worker count lead now by himself. 4-1s. 14 more Zerglings are going to be on the way, and once they pop, the Zerglings off Targa are not going to do all that much. So it is looking very bleak for Targa right now in the current situation. But with some good micro, he can still manage to take the win. Oh wow, that Baneling was so low. And of course, when a cocoon finishes, it is restoring full health to any units coming out of the cocoon, because only the cocoon is damaged, not the unit inside. But the Zerglings of Nerchio will go for that counter attack. There is a queen here though, so he has to be careful about that. Cannot do too much. The army supply is gonna pull ahead for Nerchio. Targa did drone up a little bit behind this once again. He's up to 34 drones, and his defense has been pretty okay so far. But now with the Banelings coming in for Nerchio, it can get very close once again. It's going to be a huge skirmish. Banelings moving forward, but there are a lot of Banelings for Targa finishing up. A huge detonation has come down. The queens still remain alive. Nerchio still up in the army supply. Those queens are pretty, well, at least one of the queens is pretty low on health. It will go down, but no more Banelings to finish off all of these drones that were clumped up so much. So still 29 against 27 drones. At least a few of those drones did go down. And Nerchio is pulling ahead in supply a little bit once at a time. But he has not won this game at all. The Banelings make it incredibly hard for him to engage his army. Lair is now going to be on the way behind this for Nerchio. He's taken all 4 of his gas, so he might even go for Mutalisk in this setup with the lack of a Roach Warren currently. Would not be surprised to see it. I would actually really like it, because he has found the money to actually get the tech out. The Mutalisks are going to be the most effective, of course, if your opponent does not expect them. And he has been dumping so much money in these Banelings too. 2 Banelings for 2 Banelings. That's a trade that Nerchio wants to take. This is not a trade that he wants to take. 5 Banelings for 1 Baneling of Targa, and suddenly from Targa, well, it's looking a little bit better for him. But now the Spire is already done. The lair is already done. The Spire is currently being built at the natural base, not being scouted at all. And finally, Targa has started his own lair attack in his main base, getting the extra gas going. But Targa is moving out once again with all of those Zerglings. The Banelings are lagging behind quite a bit once more, of course. So will he be able to get some devastating damage done? Still, with that last Baneling detonation of Targa, he did even up the count quite a bit. Because imagine if there were 10 more Zerglings here, that would be pretty good. The Zergling will fall in the attempt to try and kill off the Baneling of Nerchio. And remember, the Spire is nearing completion. There's going to be enough money for like 5 or 6 of those Mutalisks, depending on, of course, on how many Banelings he wants to produce. Overseer being sent forward to scout out what exactly is going down. But also the Spire for Targa has started. 3rd base is already in position for Nerchio though. Also it is in construction for Targa. So they can start the income from that point forth once again. And it looks like Targa is actually taking this win, but Banelings are coming closer. And with that Baneling detonation, Nerchio will take an advantage once again. But the reinforcements are going to come through. Nerchio producing 8 Mutalisks at this point, which is really going to shut this Zergling Baneling aggression down. But Spore Crawlers are going to be needed. But usually in a Muta versus Muta battle, you usually wait on getting your Spore Crawlers because you are expecting that your Mutalisks will be able to defend. And you're going to be behind a few Mutalisks maybe, but your Queens will be able to help out quite a bit too. So let's see how this is going to go down. 3 drones are mining at the 3rd base already. Zerglings, however, are going to go on a counterattack. But now the Mutalisks are already out and they want to get the damage done. If they can deny that 3rd base, it is going to be amazing for him. But Zerglings streaming into that main base. What are they going to focus on? They want to focus on the workers. Also, one Zergling still working at that extractor. A little bit awkward there, of course. But if he wants to go for the workers, that is not going to work out too well for him. But the 3rd base did get denied. The Spore Crawler was taken out. And without a Spore Crawler, this base is pretty much there for the taking. 12 Mutalisk on the way for Targa now too, but he is going to lose a lot of workers in this setup. Currently, work count still being pretty equal, and the 3rd base is finally safe for Nerchio. But all the workers at the 3rd base have been taken out. A few Overlords might even fall, but he's even going to go into that natural base. And we do see the Mutalisk of Targa giving chase. None of the players actually went for that upgrade, and currently 2 Mutalisk advantage for Nerchio, which is going to be pretty nice for him. But he has them all a little bit scattered around, and he needs to get them together with the Zerglings underneath if he wants to go for the most amount of effectiveness. Targa is going to return the favor a little bit. Oh, he wants to catch those Mutalisks out of position, getting a little bit of damage done. Even 1 or 2 kills is going to be amazing for him. Is he going to get a second one? He got one of them already. It looks like he will get a second one, but at the same time, the Zergling battles is really what will determine the win of this game, because the Zerglings are going to go into that 3rd base once again. Zerglings also in the main base of Nerchio, but the Mutalisk inside the natural base where no Spore Crawlers are present. That is going to be really painful for Targa in this setup. Nerchio slowly but surely pulling ahead in supply, and finally the Zerglings will be picked off. And this time it is going to be the Mutalisks of Nerchio that have to pull away a little bit, because not all of the Mutalisks are there. They are regrouping right now, and once again, looking at the unit count, 23 Mutalisks against 18 with the better economy of Nerchio. He has taken a better engagement, and Targa takes this engagement. I'm not quite sure if that's going to be best, but the Zerglings will be there to buffer the damage, and Nerchio takes the 2-0 victory, and Targa is eliminated, and Nerchio will move forward to the semifinals.